G'day everyone and welcome back to the channel. I'm Zelda and today I'm going to be sharing my thoughts on the recently announced Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity game. It's pretty evident by now that there's plenty of other and, let's face it, better Zelda content creators who have covered this game back to front so far, and they're much better skilled at analysing and breaking down the footage and finding all the little threads that tie into Breath of the Wild and the Zelda franchise as a whole. So, I'm not even going to try to compete because, quite frankly, they're the masters of this kind of thing. However, I have been wanting to get involved in the community and the discussions a lot more, and not focus exclusively on being just an art-based channel, where my initial plan was to discuss the process I go through when digital painting, and maybe even do tutorials and things. But that's a very specific thing, and honestly, I don't think that's quite the audience that would gravitate towards these videos. So I've decided that mainly I would put up some illustration time lapses when possible, and at other times, depending on the scenario, a different kind of video that's not purely art focused, but rather focused on some of the big sort of current events or events happening with the franchise. Whichever video I put out, I think the commentary will ultimately be me discussing Zelda news or just the franchise as a whole. So in this video, I'm not going to mention anything about the art, but if you do have questions you'd like me to answer regarding my work, feel free to drop a comment in the section below and I'll get back to you. So for all the Zelda fans, we know the biggest thing happening right now is the stream of new footage and information we've been getting regarding the next game scheduled for release this November, which is Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. By this point, we've seen trailers and gameplay footage giving us a good look at pre-Breath of the Wild Hyrule, from Castle Town to Lon Lon Ranch and other notable landmarks. We've seen pre-Breath of the Wild versions of noteworthy characters, such as Impa, Robbie, and Pura. Side note, Age of Calamity Pura is every level of cute imaginable and definitely overshadowed the young Impa reveal by miles. Don't even try to fight me on this. She's adorable and already my favourite new thing about this game. But, of course, the most discussed reveal at the moment is that of the newest trailer, which shows for the first time Master Koga, or what many including myself to believe is the predecessor to Master Koga which we see in Breath of the Wild, along with a new Blade Master that just looks awesome, and last but most certainly not least, the mysterious robed figure. Now what's immediately evident is that this person is aligned with the YUGA clan. In what capacity remains unclear, but based on the two shots we see in this trailer, I think it's fair to say that he, or indeed she, is in an elevated position of power, potentially even above Master Koga himself. So, who do I think this could be? Well, that's a very broad question with many possible answers, of course, and anything we theorise at this stage, it's all purely speculation. But we can have some possible ideas based on what we have so far. So the first theory I had for this character, based on an initial look, was that this is YUGA, and that was just a momentary reaction when I first saw the trailer. Now, it could straight up be YUGA himself, of course. Right now, we can't or shouldn't dismiss anything until proven otherwise. But after some thoughts, I don't think this is directly YUGA himself from A Link Between Worlds. My current theory is that this character is simply an avatar of Ganondorf that he was able to conjure up at some stage during his 10,000 year recovery. Similar to how original YUGA was an alternate version of Ganondorf, and also how Ganondorf had an alter ego named Aghanim, I think this character is acting in that same capacity during this period. Now, there's a few little physical details from this new mysterious character that make me think it could be, in fact, a reincarnation of YUGA, either the very same from A Link Between Worlds, or an entirely new character, just heavily rooted in YUGA's design. I created an image that sort of highlighted these details, which I posted to my Twitter, and I'll leave a link in the description below if you'd like to check that out. So with this theory, I've been speculating a possible scenario that at some stage Ganondorf forms this avatar, who from this point onwards, relating to a part of this theory, I'll be naming as Yiga. So I think that possibly Ganondorf creates Yiga as a way to have a physical yet limited influence in Hyrule, still severely limited in his power, but still with his genius level of intellect and manipulation skills intact. And at some point in time, after the royal family denounced the Sheik attack and asked for the tribe to abandon their research and live normal, humble lives, we all know that a number of Sheikah defect from the clan and oppose the royal family and pledge their allegiance to Ganon. And this may be fine just on the face of it, but for me personally, I always had trouble believing that they would align themselves with someone or indeed something that, as far as they're aware, has been obliterated by their own technology. With such confidence in their machines and weapons and their technology, surely they believe that Ganon was destroyed, right? Well, this is where YUGA would come in. So YUGA approaches the defected Sheikah as the avatar or something like quote-unquote the voice of Ganon, and rallies them together to the cause of resurrecting Ganondorf and taking revenge against the people of Hyrule, the royal family, their previous clan, and in his name he founds the YUGA clan. So Ganon, being fully aware that it takes thousands of years for his power to grow enough to unleash a calamity, just bides his time right up until the very point where he manages to infiltrate the royal family as an advisor, who eventually turns out to be what they believe is a fortune teller, warning of the return of the Calamity Ganon and the revelation that the key to their victory lies dormant underground, the ancient Sheikah technology that we know as the Guardians and Divine Beasts. So, providing this knowledge to them, he has, in a poetic irony, just revealed his own return and also supplied himself with his own army, completely unbeknownst to the royal family, which, if you ask me, just seems like typical Ganondorf genius manipulation. And besides, who else would know of the exact time period in which Ganon would return, if not Ganon himself? So I think he waited for the right time to foretell his own return, knowing that his power to unleash a calamity would come to fruition at just the right time when the Sheikah technology was ready for him to corrupt with his malice. In short, the initial theory is that this mysterious character is an avatar of Ganon, heavily based in Yuga's design, almost like a reincarnation, similar to how the three main characters, Link, Zelda and Ganondorf, reincarnate, and each time they have a different appearance and design. I think this avatar is directly influenced by Ganondorf himself, and directly responsible for forming the YUGA clan, and for creating the prophecy that tells of his very own return, and securing his own army. And then, of course, the calamity strikes, the avatar vanishes, and possibly just returns back to Ganondorf to merge with him. That's just one theory that I have, but let's take a quick sidestep into another theory I have for a potential idea of who this character could be. So, remember the 7 heroines? Remember how there's an 8th heroine separated from the rest that lies in the northwest Gerudo Highlands? Well, what if this character is indeed the 8th heroine? Some other Zelda content creators such as Nintendo Black Crisis and Masked Nintendo Bandit have put out some great videos discussing the 8th heroine and its placement, and some theories surrounding who it could be and why the statue was separated, which I'll link below, but I'll highlight some crucial details here that make me think this character could be the 8th heroine. So the first thing that I noticed was that the heroines all appear to be robed with hoods over their heads, similar to this mysterious character. And, I mean, this just might be more of a stretch than anything, but it is still a detail that connects the two, so I don't think it should be dismissed either. But one of the biggest things that make me think this could be the 8th heroine is that the 8 heroine statues in full, they all appear within the YUGA hideout, which, again, just sounds like it could be another stretch, but then we need to remember that the statues have Gerudo text carved into them, which makes it pretty evident that these statues were created by Gerudo, not the Sheikah or the YUGA clan. And what does this mysterious character have emblazoned on their cloak? The Gerudo symbol. Also, when we look at the eyes, there are similarities to the Gerudo that also lend to this theory. It's also been speculated that this YUGA hideout was in fact a Gerudo location before it was YUGA. Maybe it was a sanctuary for the 8 heroines, or a place of worship that, if this mysterious character is the 8th heroine, possibly decides to invade and claim the location as her own, maybe because of her banishment, some sort of twisted taking back. And the reason I say banishment is that it's also been theorized that the reason her statue was removed or constructed separately from the rest in Gerudo Desert was that she potentially betrayed the other heroines, or, as some have even speculated, possibly the sages, likely in service or worship of Ganondorf. So, what if this character is the 8th heroine, having been banished and declared an outcast for being a devoted follower of Ganondorf? Possibly to return at a later point in time, to see the return of her god and take revenge on the people of Hyrule and the new Gerudo clan for having turned their backs on who she believes is their rightful king. So those are the two theories that I have for this mysterious character. Let me know in the comments below what you think, and if you think that this sounds likely, or who you think this character could be. I hope you enjoyed the video, and please consider giving the video a like and subscribing, and also let me know what you think of the proposed new channel direction. Hopefully it's just a way for me to always be able to provide content, even during times where Zelda related news and discussion is running a bit dry and there's not much to go over or talk about. That's when I can fill the time in with just more art videos whilst we wait for further news from the franchise. Again, thank you all for checking out the video. If you think the ideas here might be interesting to someone you know, please consider sharing the video with them and helping to really grow the channel. Stay safe everyone, and I'll see you all in the next video.